Yo, what's up guys? I'm Alleging Tuna and this is part 2 of our Wayfarer series where we're going to be covering S2 cells and how those affect Pokemon Go. Let's head on over and check out what we've got. If you guys were here for part 1, you will know that we covered Wayfarer, the basics for Wayfarer, what it takes to get started, so you can start voting on stops, earning upgrades, and making it so that your submissions are getting voted on. This time we're going to be covering S2 cells and how those affect Pokemon Go, how those are going to affect the submissions that you guys are making. Now you might be asking yourself, well Tuna, what the heck is an S2 cell and why is that even important? Well, first of all, an S2 cell is basically, think of a way to map a 3D object like an Earth, a sphere, mapping a round sphere onto a 2D space, okay? It's going to give us a grid over that Earth, and that's like the too long didn't read, okay, you guys? There are two things that we need to use in order to see those and how those are going to help us. The first thing, we're going to head on over to a website called pogomap.info. I've got pogomap.info pulled up right over here. You can see some blue squares and some orange pyramids on there, and those are going to show us, those are points of interest like Pokestops and gyms, okay? That's what we've got pulled up over there. This website is pogomap.info. You can find that right there. I'll also link to it in the description, but make sure you go over to pogomap.info, log in. It'll take you to an area. If you click in the bottom right hand corner, there's a little target down there, and that little target is going to show you, it's going to take you over to your area of the world, or you can just find that because you know where you live and I don't, okay? So I've got this pulled up to an area in my town. Great. I see a map, but there's nothing on it. I just see a bunch of squares and pyramids, right? What you do, go up to your top, go up to the settings real fast, go up to your settings, go to the second tab, go to visuals. Now right here, S2 cells, it's got a question mark there. Put level 14 and level 17 cells on there so it shows those. Then also click this square that says color level 14 and level 17 S2 cells by status. Click save, give it a second to reload, and it will give you this. Now we've got a grid over top of our map. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. I'm pretty sure I have it in the area that I wanted. I'm supposed to be looking at a YMCA that's located in my town. Here it is. I found it. I'm zooming in. It takes a little bit, but it's all there, okay? There we go. So if we zoom in once more, you can see. All right, well, we'll leave it about here. So those little, the yellow squares, see those yellow squares? Those yellow squares are going to be your S17 cells, and the bigger teal squares, when we zoom out, those are your S17 cells. So right here, down below, 14s and 17s are the ones that are important for Pokemon Go, and the reason being is in S17 cells, you can only have one Wayspot. S17 cell or S14 cells are comprised of 64 17 cells, and that's so you can have up to 64 Wayspots in a S14 cell, okay? S14 cells determine gyms. S17 cells determine stops. For gyms and stops, let's see, I've got right here. So one Wayspot per S17 cell, and then for S14 cells at 2 waypoints, you'll have 1 gym. At 6 waypoints, you'll have 2 gyms. And at 20 Wayspots, you'll have 3 gyms. Now that's all great and good, but if we don't know how to update this map, it's not going to do us any good. This map over here, it hasn't been updated for a little while, or it may not have been. There could be players in your area that have been updating the map for your region, and that's great. If it is, then you'll see little blue squares. I updated those blue squares in my area quite a little bit ago, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys, because what if you log into pogomap.info and it doesn't show you anything there, but you know that there's Pokestops? Well, what you need to do is you need to go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store, and you need to download Ingress. Download Ingress, all right? Get Ingress. It's Niantic's other game, Ingress Prime, okay? What that's going to do, log in, use your Pokemon Go info, make an account, sure, log in. You don't have to go through the tutorial. You just need to make an Ingress account, okay? What that's going to do is that's going to give you access to this website, the ingressintelmap.com, okay? That's this website right there. So 2 websites, pogomap.info and intel.ingress.com. This one here, this green map that I have pulled up, this is the Ingress Intel map. Now you'll see it'll probably be a whole bunch of blue lines and blue triangles and green lines and green triangles, and that's all kinds of stuff that we don't need to understand, but it's important for Ingress, okay? If you play Ingress, you understand what a field and a link is, okay? But as a Pokemon Go player, we probably don't care about that stuff, right? So what you need to do when you log into the Ingress Intel map, go over to your area. There's a little target in the upper right hand corner. Click on the target or just zoom in where you're at. Then down in the bottom right hand corner, see this filters button? Click filters, go ahead and go to the fields section, turn off links and fields. That'll make your map look not so green or blue, and it'll also take away all the links, all the lines, okay? Click on filters again and it'll take that down off there. So right here you can see I've got that YMCA. It's the same similar, okay? So you got the YMCA there, and then if I pull up let's see, if we pull up the other map, you can kind of see there's the same building there, but then there's also the blue squares. All right, so what this is, if we go up here, let's look, see okay, so this area right here, we have a full basketball court at the YMCA. You can see on the map right there, it's just north of the building right there, okay? So there's your full basketball court of the YMCA. If we show you on the Ingress Intel map, you can see right here, that's the full basketball court of the YMCA. That's the actual picture. It shows you this website here, the intel.ingress.com. That's an official Niantic website. So this is updated from their database. It shows you everything that's in their games, okay? Well, at least Ingress, all right? All the waypoints that they already have mapped. That's important because if we're missing waypoints on pogomap.info, we can use this website to add them over so we can see them as a reference on pogomap.info, okay? I've already kind of mapped out, I cheated a little bit, and I already mapped out what stop or what point I wanted to put on this map. It was the only one I could find to begin with. And see this circle right here, or this little hexagon right there? So that is actually in Ingress, and I'll show you guys a quick little tutorial on how we add that so it shows on pogomap.info, okay? So right here, if we go here and we zoom in, it's actually this spot right here. It is the Gaga Pit at YMCA, all right? The important part for getting this to show up is you click on the little portal, little pin there, okay? Click on the pin and it'll show you a little direction arrow. Click that direction arrow. That's gonna open it's gonna open another browser source. It'll show you another web browser, and in that web browser at the end of that URL, it's going to give you a whole bunch of numbers. What you need to do is you need to copy and paste all of those numbers. What those numbers are, it's the latitude and longitude of that exact point as it appears in the Niantic database. All right, so copy and paste that, go back over to Wayfarer, or go back over to the pogomap.info. Now, if you want that to show up in pogomap.info, at the bottom of your map, you can click the add to the map, right? It brings up this interface. We're gonna add we'll call it a stop for now, status normal. And then note, adding stuff in pogomap.info does not add it into Pokemon Go. This is just a reference, so don't think that you're making Pokestops or gyms by adding them to the map, okay? This map thing is pretty important. We use this so we know what's in the game and what's not, all right? So make sure, like, you're not making Pokestops this way. We think it's about there. We add that in there. We got to put the title. The title of this was, what was the name of this stop? Name of this stop was the Gaga Pit, right? And when you put in the title, make sure it's the same one that matches in Ingress, okay? So Gaga Pit at YMCA. That's our title. And then our input, this is where you paste that longitude, the latitude and longitude number that you copied from the end of the URL when you clicked on the little arrow on the Ingress Intel map, right? And look, I just copy and pasted it on the input, and it pulled the latitude and longitude from there. Click yes that you want to edit the position, and then click down below that you confirm that it's already in game. We know that it's in game because we pulled it off of the Ingress Intel map, all right? You do that, we click add to map. It might move it a little bit, but we were pretty close where we added that stop, and there it is. We got the Gaga Pit at YMCA. There you go. Now, the important thing here is that your S2 cells, you can only have one Wayspot per S17 cell. So these ones here that are showing up as purple, we can't add more stops or gyms into purple areas. If there is a green area or a not shaded in area, then we can actually get stuff to show up there. So if I went up to YMCA, this is important because if I go to YMCA and I'm trying to get some more stuff added in, this will give me a map of ideas on where to find things to submit so they show up in the game, right? If I submit stuff that's already in any of that area that's purple, it's not going to show up in Pokemon Go. So something nearby the YMCA, so out in the parking lot here, maybe there's a trail marker, maybe there's a rule sign, maybe there's something that meets criteria. If you need a refresher on what meets criteria, make sure you go over to part 1 of our Wayfarer stuff, right? Of the Wayfarer video that I had made earlier. But find something in one of these open cells and submit it, and if it gets accepted, it'll get voted on by the community, and if it's accepted, it'll show up as a Pokestop in the game in Pokemon Go. And also remember, in the S14 cells, the big teal cells, right? So in those big teal cells, at the second stop that gets added in there, one of those, the oldest one, will become a gym. If you get up to 6 Pokestops, well, you'd have 4 Pokestops, you'd have 4 Pokestops in one gym. And if you added another thing that would give you 6 points of interest in that cell, giving you 6, then you would get a second gym. So the second oldest stop that was in that cell will become a gym, all the way up to 20. If you get up to 20 waypoints in a S14 cell, then you'll get 3 gyms. Past that, doesn't work. You can have 3 gyms per S14 cell. So that's it. Get out there, you guys. Start mapping out your areas if they aren't already mapped. Get those different way spots put on there. You can get out, start exploring, and get more stops and gyms added in to your area. All right, that's awesome, right? That's it. Pretty simple. I know there's another tool called IITC that you can use to show S2 cells and that stuff, but IITC, if we go back over here, give me one sec, we go back over here, the guy who updated the S2 cell overlay for IITC, the Ingress Intel Total Conversion tool, he decided to stop hosting that. That happened October 23rd of 2022. So if you had access to it, if you already had those tools on your web browser or on your phone, you're good to go. But if you don't have those, if you're newer to understanding S2 cells, well, that's what I made this video for. I hope that this helped you guys. If it did help you, leave a thumbs up, maybe leave a sub on the YouTube. But yeah, I stream every day, 7 days a week over at Twitch TV/Alleging Tuna. Catch me there live 4 to 9 p.m. every day. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.